Never enough.
No, not yet.
Young guy.
7 o'clock, August 16th, I call the regular meeting of the council to order. Roll call.
Bennett.
Here.
Lane.
Here.
Matthews.
Here.
Mealy.
Here.
Sinning.
Here.
Wotecki.
Here.
Bertolo.
Please rise and join us in the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge of Allegiance.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Adequate notice of this meeting has been provided by the annual schedule of regular meetings herefore adopted and posted on the public bulletin board at the municipal building, emailed to the Hawthorne Press, Herald News, The Record, The Gazette, and all persons who have requested the mailing of such schedule. A copy of said schedules remained in file of the Office of Borough Clerk from and since December 8, 2016. Approval of the minutes. Can I have an approval of the minutes for the regular meeting of July 5th and the bid minutes opened August 9th for a 2018 cab, chassis, and dump truck body?
So moved.
Second. Motion by Sitting, second by Mealy. Any discussion? Seeing none, call the roll.
Wotecki.
Abstain on July 5th, yes on the dump truck.
Sinning.
Yes.
Mealy.
Yes.
Lane.
Yes.
Bennett.
Yes.
Matthews.
Yes.
Motion carries.
All right. Public comment. I'll now open the meeting to the public. If anyone desires to be heard, please raise your hand, come forward to the microphone, state your name and address. Does anyone wish to be heard on agenda items? Seeing none, I entertain a motion to close the public portion of the meeting.
So moved. Second.
Motion by Wotecki, second by Sitting. Any discussion? Roll call. All those in favor, I guess?
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Yes.
Motion
Motion
carries.
carries.
Out of practice.
Okay. Next up on the agenda is our discussion of our 2000 audit report. We have a representative from our accounting firm, Swisher and Suplee, Clooney and Company. Come on forward.
When did Swisher get in front of Suplee Clun?
You want to come over from it?
Yeah,
Okay.
I think he became a partner. When did Swisher come in front of Suplee Clun?
It's just all of a sudden, it's a new change. I'm happy with it, you know, it's a change of lights and everything's nice.
Hand it up to
Thank you for
Voted
having me
you.
back again this year. We just concluded our audit for 2016. We're a little bit later than we usually were. This year, there was some struggles with converting the admin system, and it created some havoc. But in the end, Mary Jean, the finance officer, got everything in order. You'll notice when you look at the report, there are no comments or recommendations. As you know, we do a compliance audit to see if the borough is in compliance with all the rules and regulations of the state of New Jersey. And we've not found any violations to be reported, so you won't need to do a corrective action plan. Overall, the borough is in great shape. As we've mentioned back at budget time, your surplus went up again this year. The rating agencies, when they look at your surplus, they like towns to be somewhere between 18 and 20 to 22% in surplus, and Hawthorne's about 25%, which is very commendable. It's not something you do overnight. It's something that's kind of built up over the last couple of years that you've been able to maintain things and still develop that surplus. Been really doing a good job with the percentage of collection on the taxes, which obviously helps everything with that because the revenue coming in and also lowers your reserve on collected taxes. So overall, the district is in good financial shape. I'd be glad to take any questions anybody had about the audit or the audit process or anything like that.
No.
Sorry to hear nothing. It's all good. The report's been good. It's a really short one. You know,
And how typical is Hawthorne compared to other towns?
Audit-wise, very typical. Financial-wise, it's doing much better than most others are. I can't give you on a 1 to 10, but it's doing much better. I mean, and it's evidenced by your bond rating and things like that.
Okay. Well, thank you for
Very
your
good.
time
All
and
right,
your
have a good night.
analysis.
Thank you.
Thank you for your time.
Adoption of ordinances, we have bond ordinance number 2192-17, bond ordinance providing for the acquisition of the fire department capital equipment, specifically a fire engine in the borough of Hawthorne and the county of Passaic, New Jersey, appropriating $700,000, therefore, and authorizing the issuance of bonds or notes of the borough in the amount of $665,000 for financing of the same. Public hearing, I'll now open the meeting to the public. If anyone desires to be heard regarding ordinance number 2192-17, please raise your hand, come to the microphone, state your name and address. Does anyone wish to be heard on this ordinance? Seeing none, I entertain a motion that the public hearing on this ordinance be closed and be resolved that this ordinance was posted in the bulletin board on which public notices are customarily posted, published in the Hawthorne Press, and available on the borough website. Copies of said ordinance were made available to the general public. Have a motion to close the public hearing.
So moved.
Motion by Sitting, second by Bennett. All in favor?
Abstain?
Abstain?
You don't have to abstain on them,
This is just to close the hearing.
just to close the hearing, so it's not, you're not actually taking any action on the purchase of the fire engine.
Okay.
So you're free to vote.
Then I'll vote yea.
Yay.
Motion carries.
All right, Michael, make sure to report them on this one. Got him, finally. It's been a while, but
At this point, I'd like to entertain a motion that this action on this ordinance be carried to September 6, 2017, the regular meeting.
So moved.
Motion by Mealy, second by Witecki.
No, I asked already. So
yes, he can do
You can make
this.
the motion, you just can't vote on it.
I can vote.
Yeah,
he can.
He can do that,
You can
too.
vote on it.
Yeah, just, I mean, so everybody understands, too. A bond ordinance requires, for the people watching at home, 5 affirmative votes from the entire membership of the council. 5 of 7 have to vote in favor. John and Joe are not permitted to vote on the ordinance because they're members of the fire department, so therefore only 4 eligible members are here tonight. So when John Bertolo returns in September, it'll be relisted. No further hearing. The hearing is closed, but it'll be on for final adoption. That's it.
So did I have a motion to table?
You did.
We have Mealy was the motion to table, and Woteki was the second.
All in favor?
Now, do
A roll
it.
call?
And this is a roll call.
Because you have to
Thank you.
abstain.
Bennett?
Yes.
Lane?
Yes.
Mealy?
Yes.
Sinning?
Yes.
Woteki?
Yes.
Matthews?
Yes.
Motion carries to table.
Ordinance number 2193-17, an ordinance to amend Chapter 25 of the Code of the Borough of Hawthorne, Department of Public Safety, Article 2, Police Department, Section 25-3, Table of Organization, subsection D, as to increase the number of sergeants from 5 to 6. Public hearing, I'll now open the meeting to the public. If anyone desires to be heard regarding ordinance number 2193-17, please raise your hand, come to the microphone, state your name and address. Does anyone wish to be heard on this ordinance? Hearing none, I entertain a motion that the public hearing on this ordinance be closed and that it be resolved this ordinance was posted on the bulletin board on which public notices are customarily posted, published in the Hawthorne Press, and available on the borough website. Copies of said ordinance were made available to the general public. Now therefore be it resolved this ordinance be adopted and the clerk is authorized to advertise the same according to law. Have a motion?
Second?
Motion by Bennett, second by Lane. Any discussion? Hopefully, this will also help cut down on some overtime as well as gives a little bit more oversight to departments when someone is out for coverage. Roll call.
Woteki?
Yes.
Sinning?
Yes.
Mealy?
Yes.
Lane?
Yes.
Bennett?
Yes.
Matthews?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Capital ordinance number 2194-17, an ordinance to authorize improvements to the police pistol range in and by the borough of Hawthorne and the county of Passaic, state of New Jersey, and to appropriate the sum of $35,000 from the capital improvement fund of the borough of Hawthorne for such purpose. Now open the meeting to the public. If anyone desires to be heard regarding ordinance 2194-17, please raise your hand. To be recognized, come forward to the microphone, state your name and address. Does anyone wish to be heard? Seeing none, I entertain a motion that the public hearing on this ordinance be closed, and that it be resolved that this ordinance was posted on the bulletin board on which public notices are customarily posted, published in the Hawthorne Press, and available on the borough website. Copies of said ordinance were made available to the general public. Now therefore be resolved that this ordinance be adopted and the clerk is authorized to advertise the same according to law. Can I have a motion? Motion by Bennett, second by Mealy. Any discussion?
Yes, Frank?
John?
Eric, the 35,000 that we have here, is that enough to do everything that the police are asking for?
Yes.
Okay.
No,
That's all.
we'll probably
It's too
take
much because
that.
we're only, it's less than that, I think, right?
Well, there's some contingency there, in case we run into a problem.
And something that's been needed for a while. I mean,
yeah.
there's a lot of lead there
Absolutely.
that needs to be taken out, and pay me now or pay me later, well, it's later. Here we are. Roll call.
Bennett,
Yes.
Lane.
Yes.
Mealy.
Yes.
Sinning.
Yes.
Woteki.
Yes.
Matthews.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Old business. Does anyone have any old business? Joe, we'll start your way.
No. Eric actually sent me all the emails. We're all up to date, so thank you.
Gary?
Yeah, I was down at the recycling the other day, and I had a request by some of the guys down there. A lot of the trees and bushes are really starting to getting overgrown down there. Maybe either get either Downs or our guys, I don't know.
Okay, we'll take a look at
Some
it.
of it's trees, some of it's just brush, but it's kind of overgrown over that little shed we have down there and stuff.
It's blocking their sun.
It's part of the Twin Cities grant.
Yeah. It's camouflaging the site, but
Okay, we'll take a look at it. Thank you.
that's all.
Bruce?
Yeah, Eric, since Gary brought up the subject of trees, what's an update on the situation for 116 Post Ave with that tree?
We are, what we've been looking at is the coordination that's necessary to get a tree down and get the sidewalk repaired.
You mean you're getting an act of Congress?
No, but we're trying to just make sure that the information that was going out for our arborist, what he was attempting to convey, he was not conveying. And so therefore, he was telling people that we would take the tree down after they did the sidewalk. What we're trying to say is that there needs to be coordination, because we need to get the tree down, we need to get the sidewalk torn up, then we need to remove the stump, then the sidewalk can be poured, and that has to happen within a time frame, because you have to do the call-outs for the markouts, enough in advance to get it done, but not so much in advance that those markouts expire. So we're working on a procedure so that we can better inform the public when we have these situations, because the what he was putting on the door hanger was not telling them what needed to be done. So I believe that Ellen reached out to, or either today or tomorrow is reaching out to the resident to explain what really needs to happen. So, and then we're trying to improve the communication going forward so that when we have these situations, we're not making people scratch their heads as you were doing as to, how shouldn't we get the tree out before they put the sidewalk in? Yes, but it needs to be coordinated because there's steps that have to occur close together, but in the proper order.
Okay, that's fair enough. Ellen's going to reach out and inform them of
She
if
already
someone
did.
is.
Okay.
Okay, good. Fair enough.
Dominic? Okay. John?
Yes, I have some stuff. As we know, Eric, the construction on Fifth Ave and Central Ave, the new construction project that's going on, when they dug up Central Avenue, the patching that they did now is starting to sink. So if you could get the people back there to patch up the holes again so it's at least level and flush with the existing pavement, would help a lot. Because there's a lot of basically not large sinkholes, but there's a lot of holes.
Dr. Boswell calls
down
that
there.
settling, I think.
Well, they have to address it.
Is that contractor going to pave the road? I thought
Yeah,
that
well,
was part of the
we're not going to
deal.
wait for him to pave the road. It has to settle first.
If there's a temporary problem, if it gets to be a problem.
It's a temporary
as John
problem,
is
and let 'em-
saying that
let 'em
we need-
continue to
we need
patch
do
it.
something before we get to a permanent solution.
Okay, and the other item that I have, Eric, first of all, I'd like to thank the mayor and the police chief for the meeting that we had with the residents on Fifth Avenue and Utter Avenue. However, the tractor trailers that are going down Fifth Avenue, the speed is been very much improved, and thank you, Chief. However, the staging on Utter Avenue has been corrected for about a week and a half, and now it's back to the old way. So, Mayor, if you could talk to the chief, maybe we can get that continually addressed every
Yep.
day, because it's posing a hazard.
Okay, nodded to the chief, and he's put a note in. So.
Also, Eric, I had mentioned several meetings ago with regard to the covers to the generators. I haven't seen any covers. Can you give me an update on that?
No, but I will get one and get it to you.
Thank you. And with that, with the generators just sitting there, I've seen them sit there now for months. Can you tell me how often they're tested? Because we went through this once before, and I've never seen them move and how they're testing them.
I will find out. I think they're supposed to be tested monthly, so.
Well, I think Dr. Boswell and I went over at least every 2 weeks. If that's correct, Doctor?
Yeah, monthly would be fine too, but we talked about 2 weeks initially.
Yeah.
Either one is fine.
And I mean, and if we have a logbook, I'd like to see the log sheet of how often we're testing them and what the actual mechanisms are that we're testing them.
Okay.
And the last thing is, with the meeting that we had with the mayor and the chief, the residents asked that the curbs be painted yellow again on Ray and Fifth. So if we can have that addressed, please. We
I
painted
just
them
nodded to
about,
my other DPW superintendent, so.
we painted them about a year ago, 2 years
Yeah,
ago.
They need to be touched
If
up.
they just need to be redone. And that's all I have for old.
Great, you came in just under the limit.
My 5 minutes are up?
Just made it. Well, do you have any new?
Yes, I do.
Well, since you're down there.
Now that we have the crosswalks at the movie theater, just a couple feet south of the doors of the movie theater, I think it's an asset for us, and it's an asset for the people who are using the parking lot to cross there. At night, it's dark there, and I saw something in Patterson that I'd like to ask if we can look into. It's a sign that goes up that has basically a pedestrian crossing, but it's also solar powered, and there's a switch on it that if you want to cross, you actually turn the switch on, and just the lights go on like the stop street sign lights. And I think that would be a deterrent for people to at least stop, so let the pedestrians cross instead of letting the pedestrians stay there, especially when it's dark at night when they get out of the theater. So I'll give you the pictures. You can get it. There's no electric to them. Solar powered. One going north, one going south. I think would be advantageous to all the citizens that use.
All right, give me the information, and
I will.
we'll look at it.
Thank you. That's all I have for new.
Mike.
Well, this is new business. There's been a gas leak on Lafayette Avenue, and Public Service is every day drilling new holes. They haven't found the leaks yet. What they're doing now, they're going to each individual, I guess, residence there, and they're changing the service coming into the main line. They can't find the leak. So this should be blocked off again tomorrow. It's been a week already, so just uninversions know that. They keep one lane open. The cops are doing a great job, but it's hard on the business people there. So just so you know. That's it.
Bruce.
Yeah. Eric, I got a call today from a Washington Ave resident, and as I said, I just got the call today. I only got his side of the story, but maybe you can look into this for me. He apparently had a problem that required digging up and replacing a section of his water and sewer lines around August the 7th. They got the work done. He claims he called the building department at 3:35 p.m., got put on hold for 5 minutes. Then he called back at 3:40 p.m. to get the work inspected so they could close up the hole, finish up, and get his water back on. He said someone from the water department showed up a little after 4 p.m. and approved the work. They switched his water back on. The problem, he says he was charged $60 to turn off the water, and to turn the water back on, they charged him $240. $60 to turn it back on, and $180 after hours charge.
Right, what happened was the water was turned off during the working day. The DPW finishes at 3:30, so for someone to come at 4 o'clock, they came out on overtime to do that, and
Well,
that's...
that was basically the question he asked me. You just answered it. He says, what does the town consider normal business hours?
Well, as I said, for the DPW, they work 7 to 3:30, I believe. Bob, is that correct? Yeah, 7 to 3:30. So anything after 3:30 becomes an overtime charge to the borough, and we pass that charge on to the homeowner.
Okay, I will bring that information back to him.
Okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Gary?
I have nothing.
Joe?
Recently, there was a deer that was struck on Golfo Road, and it took quite a long time to get it picked up from Tyco. You know how I feel about Tyco.
I know.
So their response is really becoming poor, and I know that the dispatcher made multiple calls to them. So I don't understand, and even to the fact that somebody came and decided to remove the deer's head to keep whatever part of the head they wanted. And they made more calls to Tyco. Can we reach out to them and,
Do you know when that occurred?
no, but I can,
Okay.
Chief, do you remember?
Not exactly, but I can pull it to the program tomorrow.
Okay,
Thank you very much.
okay.
Because I'm personally not a fan of Tyco.
They speak kindly of you.
And then next, there was no reply to the property maintenance. I had inquired about 46 Outlook.
The 40, yeah, we have, property maintenance has been out there and they are.
Can you just shoot me an
addressing-
email so I can
Okay.
respond to the
Okay.
resident? Thank you. That's all.
Okay. Moving on to the administrative agenda presented by Mayor Goldberg. Mayor,
Thank you, Council
floor is
Vice
yours.
President. I'd like to start my agenda this evening by thanking our Director of Revenue and Finance, Mary Jane Hewitt, for her over 29 years of dedicated service to the Borough of Hawthorne. Mary Jane will be retiring next week and she'll be missed here at the Borough. We wish her continued success, happiness, and health. Steve, don't look so surprised. Tax bills due August 1st are due no later than September 1st at 4 o'clock. Please remember to pay them before the due date, because if you pay it after 4 o'clock, you will be assessed interest back to August 1st. We tape closed our mailbox outside at 4 o'clock. Don't slip it under the Treasury door after 4 o'clock. It won't be counted. So make sure the payments are in before 4 o'clock. You're going to save 30 days worth of interest. Last Sunday evening, the band shell presented Fight for Autism 2. The event showcased all local musicians who donated their time and talent for autism. Thank you to all of our local musicians and the MC Constantine Maroulis for donating their time and talents for families facing challenges of autism. I'm going to let my band shell chairman, Mike Pasquale, report about this in much greater detail later this evening. But the key word on that is much.
The rest of you can leave before then.
Leadership Camp began this week, Monday, August 14th. Every year, this is a terrific program and a very positive and purposeful week for our incoming sixth graders. We were disappointed this year that because of scheduling conflicts, it doesn't look like the helicopter will make an appearance this week, but I understand the kids are having a great week, and I don't know who's leading. Do we know who's ahead? What team is ahead? Okay, the tan team looks like it's winning. National Night Out was the 1st of August. This was a great event hosted by our Hawthorne Police Department and the Municipal Alliance. It was an opportunity to meet our police, Municipal Alliance, EMS, Fire Department, and various committees of the town. The Lions Club and Board of Recreation annual swim meet was rescheduled from the 2nd to last Wednesday at August 9th. While we had a low turnout, the event was great for the competitors. Next year, we're discussing coordinating this event with a band shell to have a bigger and better event. So I guess it'll be Dip and Sing or something.
We're actually thinking of National
Night Out, right. Last and certainly not least, the solar eclipse will happen on Monday, August 21st at approximately 1:22 p.m. The sky will darken, the air will cool, the stars will be revealed, but the world is not ending. New Jersey will experience about a 70% coverage. Please come out to the band show. Our own Alan Trano, optometrist, and Jocelyn Trano and staff have organized a solar eclipse viewing party. They will be setting up telescopes and binoculars for our residents to experience the event. Special viewing glasses are available for purchase for the event at the Lewis Bay II Library, and these have been generously donated by Alan to the Friends of the Library, so that it's a fundraiser for the Friends of the Library. So please come and join the party. And of course, do not look at the solar eclipse without proper eye gear, because we don't want to be passing out lots of white canes to you who think that you can look at an eclipse.
Time there?
Time is, I think it's 1 o'clock, because it's due at 1:22.
1 to 4.
1 to 4, I think. I want to thank Norm Kowalski for his many years of service to our planning board. Norm was a valuable addition to the board, but has decided to retire from service to the board. He will be missed, and he should be thanked. We have a couple of proclamations. The first proclamation, I'm going to call upon Chief McAuliffe.
Yeah, sure, 100%.
Show them where the TV is, Rich.
I'm going to, please, I'm going to. Now, Chief, the TV is right there. Now, I didn't call you up because it's Drive Sober, Get Pulled Over. It has nothing to do with you. Drive Sober, Get Pulled Over 2017 statewide crackdown. Whereas approximately 1/3 of all fatal traffic crashes in the United States involve drunk driving. Whereas impaired driving crashes cost the United States almost $45 billion a year. Whereas 29% of motor vehicle fatalities in New Jersey in 2014 were alcohol related. Whereas an enforcement crackdown is planned to combat impaired driving. Whereas the summer season and the Labor Day holiday in particular are traditionally times of social gatherings, which include alcohol, and whereas the state of New Jersey Division of Highway Traffic Safety has asked law enforcement agencies throughout the state to participate in the Drive Sober, Get Pulled Over 2017 statewide crackdown. Whereas the project will involve increased impaired driving enforcement from August 18th through September 4th, 2017. And whereas an increase in impaired driving enforcement and a reduction in impaired driving will save lives on our roadway. Therefore, be it proclaimed by the Mayor and Council of the Borough of Hawthorne declares its support for the Drive Sober, Get Pulled Over 2017 statewide crackdown from August 18th through September 4th, and pledges to increase awareness of the dangers of drinking and driving. Chief, I present this to you for the department. Thank you very much. Danny, I'm going to invite you and your family to come up if you would.
Mayor. Is the microphone on? Oh, yeah. Oh, yep, you're good. Thank you. Oh, it's blinking.
This new high-tech stuff.
Come on, everybody. Gotta give you that same message. That's the TV camera, so we want everybody at home to see everybody. My microphone back in the shirt.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, when I first became an elected official 20 years ago, one of the first people I met was Dan Vanderhook and his riding partner, Kenny Houtsma. And they kind of took me under the wing and told me what I should know and what I should do. I didn't listen all the time, Danny, but you were a great inspiration to me. Your public service, the time and dedication you put in, being a baseball coach. I know you and Joe Russ used to coach together with the Roads Agency. And you're probably one of the greatest records of daytime responders for our ambulance corps. Without you, a lot of residents would have been left high and dry needing trips to the ambulance, to the hospital. And really your volunteerism is a tribute to the family and to the Borough of Hawthorne for what you've done. Most people don't remember that during the Morningstar Paisley fire, you responded with a hail an ambulance corps down here. So even when you weren't living in Hawthorne, you were responding and helping us out in Hawthorne. So to mark your retirement, we have a proclamation from the Mayor and Council. It says, whereas Dan Vanderhook, a distinguished member of the Hawthorne Volunteer Ambulance Corps for 45 years, has announced his retirement from the Corps. And whereas Dan Vanderhook, the veteran of the Air National Guard, has been an emergency medical technician for over 50 years. Whereas Dan Vanderhook began his service as a volunteer ambulance corps member with the Borough of Haledon and was first responder to Morningside Paisley Fire on February 17, 1967. Whereas after moving to the Borough of Hawthorne, he joined the William B. Mawhinney Memorial Ambulance Corps in 1972, delivering the first of several babies that he welcomed to the world during his years with the Corps. And whereas during his tenure with the Corps, Dan Vanderhook served as president as well as treasurer, earning respect of his fellow Corps members for his commitment to the Borough of Hawthorne and the Hawthorne Volunteer Ambulance Corps. Whereas Dan Vanderhook dedicated countless hours to the residents of the community, including his response to daytime calls, allowing the Corps to overcome the significantly challenged presented today by daytime emergencies. Whereas Dan Vanderhook's unselfish service to the community goes far beyond his dedication as an EMT, including over 25 years as a baseball coach in the Hawthorne Baseball Softball Association, where he continued to give back to the community he calls home. Whereas Dan Vanderhook, a proud father and grandfather who has watched his family follow in his footsteps as first responders and vital members of the community, has decided to bring to a close his many years of dedicated service. Now therefore be it resolved that the Mayor and Council of the proud Borough of Hawthorne do hereby recognize and thank Dan Vanderhook for his decades of outstanding service and devotion to the Borough of Hawthorne. Wish him a happy and healthy retirement. Dan, it's signed by me and the entire council. This is for you. And thank you.
Thanks, everyone. I really appreciate it, and I really miss going out in those daytime calls. I sit there at home, I sit on the radio, and listen and say, yeah, somebody will show up. And for the most part, we're doing real good. There's two people I really want to say thanks to. One is you. Putting up with missed meals, missed holiday meals, running out of the house in the middle. The other one is Kenny. Kenny and I joined the same day. He's now your longest serving member of the ambulance corps. You got another 3 years now? Ken? Well, you just renewed. I didn't. Yeah. It's a thankless task, folks. Every one of these people you see out here with an EMT patch on have put in 120 hours to get certified. And that 120 hours is the first shot, and then every 3 years, there's another 120 hours. So it's not something you do to say, I don't know what I'm going to do tonight. You make a commitment. And I think all the people out there with the EMT patches on, we need to thank them. I'm done. I did my job. It's up to them now.
We should bring up the EMTs.
Rich.
Yeah, why don't we bring up the EMTs? We'll get a great group picture. John, why don't you John?
I just want to, is this on? I just want to say a few words about Dan. Shut up, you guys. If it wasn't for Dan, I probably would not even be an EMT today. I started out as a driver, and I drove Dan many times during the day, and Dan kept pushing me and pushing me and pushing me to become an EMT and go to EMT school. And finally I did, and I dragged my wife Margot into it. And Dan, I just want to say on behalf of Margot and I, thank you for pushing me to do what you've done for many years. And as much as you do with everybody that's here, we both enjoy what we do for the community. And thank you for all the guidance and the education that you gave to me.
Thank you, Tom.
You gotta scrunch down the front.
We need a bigger podium.
Man, why don't you come up to the front?
Blair.
You're happy in the back or happy?
I can lean against it.
Okay.
All right, let Mrs. Vanderhook through.
Where did I lose her?
Don't worry about it.
You've heard the radio for long.
Lean forward a little bit more, Joe. A little bit more.
You have a ring ready for him when he falls off
One
the
more.
desk?
1, 2, 3.
Jeez.
Lane, this camera is antique-ish.
So is Lane.
Anyone else? It's a brownie, Joe. Just filming it.
Is there film in it? All right. Any other cameras?
I don't think so.
Thank you.
Yeah. Make an appearance. Some kind of make your and then we'll swing by.
That's gonna carry.
You have a porter.
Keep support. Thank you for everything you've done.
Thank you for everything.
We have a hard time in the daytime, but what we can get is
You guys done a great job.
I'm sure they do.
Is that lighter than the other one?
A lot lighter.
So you don't have to work out anymore.
Crowd, for some reason, the crowd's thinned out.
That's not what you said, Mayor.
Guess we know who the popular one
God,
is.
you're not a clear. I have appointed by the mayor a member of the zoning board of adjustment of Borough of Hawthorne. By the virtue of the power and authority vested in me as the mayor of the Borough of Hawthorne, with the advice and consent of the council, I hereby appoint Victor Peter Jr. as alternate number one member of the zoning board of adjustment of the Borough of Hawthorne to fill an unexpired term to December 31st, 2017, and until a successor shall be appointed and qualified.
So moved.
Have a motion?
Second.
Motion by Lean, second by Bennett. Any discussion? Roll call.
Woteki?
Yes.
Siddian?
Yes.
Mealy?
Yes.
Lane?
Yes.
Bennett?
Yes.
Matthews?
Yes.
Motion carries.
Okay, Victor, come on up. Come on. Jack, you can come too. You're the one who suggested it. Oh, you gotta take a picture. Okay. All right, this is my usual advice, Victor, is that's the camera. So we want to make
You're
sure
holding the
everybody
Bible.
knows. Would you like to hold the Bible?
That's what they tell me.
Okay. I'm going to ask you to place your left hand on the Bible and raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, Victor Catino Jr.
I, Victor Catino Jr.
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution
that I will support the Constitution
of the United States
of the United States
and the Constitution
and the Constitution
of the State of New Jersey,
of the State of New Jersey,
and I'll bear true faith and allegiance
and I will bear true faith and allegiance
to the same
to the same
and to the governments established
and to the governments
in
established
the United States
in the United States
and in this state,
and in this state,
under the authority of the people,
under the authority of the people,
and will perform the duties of
and will perform the duties of
alternate number one,
alternate number one,
member of the Zoning Board of Adjustment
member of the Zoning Board of Adjustment
of the Borough of Hawthorne,
of the Borough of Hawthorne,
faithfully, impartially, and justly, to the best of my ability. So help me God. Congratulations. Welcome aboard.
Welcome, Victor.
Thank you very much.
Yeah. Yeah, they're my family.
Okay. I have two more appointments. One is a member of the planning board of the Borough of Hawthorne. By virtue of the power and authority vested in me as mayor of the Borough of Hawthorne, I hereby appoint Barbara Zaker as alternate number one, member of the planning board of the Borough of Hawthorne, to fill an unexpired term ending December 31st, 2018, until her successor to be appointed and qualified. I also have a member of the zoning board, planning board, rather. By the virtue and authority and the power and authority vested in me as mayor of the Borough of Hawthorne, I hereby appoint Robert Mayer as alternate number two of the planning board of Hawthorne to fill an unexpired term ending December 31st, 2017, and until a successor shall be appointed and qualified. Can I have a motion? We'll move.
Second.
Motion by Bennett, second by Elaine. I guess we'll tag both of them together.
Yep.
See how efficient I am?
Oh,
with
yeah.
my- The clerk went to a lot of
Roll call.
effort here. Roll call.
Bennett,
Yes.
Lane,
Yes.
Mealy,
Yes.
Sinning.
Yes.
Oteki,
Yes, ma'am.
Matthews.
Yes.
Motion carries.
And look, Barbara can multitask.
Yeah, see, that isn't amazing.
Okay, we're going to swear you in together. Your right hands are raised, that's very good. I state your name.
I, Barbara Zaker,
Do solemnly swear
do solemnly swear
that I will support the Constitution
that I will support the Constitution
of the United States
of the United States
and the Constitution
and the Constitution
of the State of New Jersey,
of the State of New Jersey,
and I'll bear true faith and allegiance
and I'll bear true faith and allegiance
to the same
to the same
and to the governments established
and to the governments established
in the United States
in the United States
and in this state,
and in this state,
under the authority of the people,
under the authority of the people,
and will perform the duties of.
and will perform the duties of
Your alternate number one.
member of the planning board of the Borough
Thing
of
one, thing two.
You're following along at home. 1, 2. Faithfully,
faithfully,
impartially,
impartially,
and justly,
and justly,
to the best of my ability.
to the best of my ability.
So help me God.
So help me God.
Congratulations.
By the way.
I think Lori just took a picture of the back of your head.
Congratulations. We move it on. We sucked in now. Do this.
Farmer's market wasn't out there.
Congratulations.
I think it's a typo.
No, he said 18.
No, I'm there.
Just for clarity, if Mr. Kowalski's term was till 2017, December 31, how does,
His was to 2018, Mrs. Zaker's term was to
No, he was looking,
2017.
moving to the zoning. That should be close.
the zoning 17?
Zoning is 17 as well. That was Kurt Leiniger's original term.
Okay. All
Okay?
right. Thank you.
All right, at this time, I call upon my Borough Band Shell Chairman, who doubles as the Borough Attorney when he has time, Mike Pasquale, for his report.
Thank you, Mayor. You will see I am wearing my Borough Band Shell shirt. I want to congratulate Dan Vanderhook, who's just all the best of what we have in Hawthorne as a volunteer, a whole family of volunteers and first responders. By the way, many of you missed noted birthdays in the last week. Our own Ellen's birthday was on August 1. My mother's birthday on August 6. Chief McCullough's dad was August 6. Mayor Crisatelli the 8th, and of course, mine was the 9th. Big birthday
So you
month,
mentioned all of those other birthdays just to mention you.
just to mention my own.
Yeah, okay.
Pretty
And which
much.
councilman texted you happy birthday?
You did, Joe called me.
And sang.
Joe sang. I gotta give
that's
Joe,
all over
Joe
the
wins.
top.
No,
Oh,
Joe
my
wins.
God.
Mayor called me. Eric did not. Just saying. All right. First of all, on the synthetic turf field in Golford Brook Park, as you know, we filed a motion to seek a stay of the action of the county going forward. The county and the state of New Jersey have each filed opposition. The county actually filed a motion to intervene in the matter, which they should. They have an interest in it. And the county is plowing ahead no matter what. They are determined to cram this down our throats, whether we want it or not. That is their determination. Don't know why they're so determined, but they clearly are determined. I haven't yet received any indication when the appellate division will decide the motion. It's a difficult motion because it is one that seeks to stop a state agency in its tracks, because really the appeal is from the determination of the state agency and not so much the county. But we are going to fight this thing all the way, and I still encourage everybody who's listening out there, who's watching, let your elected representatives know how you feel about this project. If you're really opposed to it, don't just say it on the street. Call, write petitions, write letters, make your voices heard, because if you don't make your voices heard now, it'll be too late. The affordable housing front has been pretty quiet for the last few weeks. We have continued to work with the owner of 204 Wagner Road to see if we can come up with something that makes everybody happy. The remainder of my report will be dedicated to the band shell, because we've had a lot of events since we last met. On July 27th, we had a great night with the American Israeli Cultural Foundation presenting opera. It was really a terrific presentation. Richard Schneideker, who's been a phenomenal member of our committee, was able to bring this group. They explained, because most of us, or at least I know, I don't really understand opera, so explained what was going to be presented, almost in the form of having a libretto, and didn't talk down to the crowd, spoke to the crowd, and engaged the crowd as the presentations were made. So it was a really nice night.
Fabulous voices, too.
Great voices, and it was really nice. And our band shell really highlights voices. I mean, it's really picks up the acoustics. Credit to Dr. Boswell, of course. He sat there with a tuning fork. August 1st was National Night Out, and it wasn't really a band shell event, but the band shell was showcased. Joe Carr, who's a member of the band shell committee and does so much work with Hawthorne Day and with the band shell committee, is just a great volunteer. Brought two bands, a Green Day cover band and a Stone Temple Pilots cover band, and both of them presented, nice shows. There were food trucks. There was a lot of entertainment. So a great night there. August 6th, we showed the Avengers. There are many people who are certain they saw Chris Hemsworth there.
I saw Thor.
Yeah.
Yeah, we saw Thor. Yeah.
You did see Thor, but in any event, Thor was there, and we had a nice turnout. I think the little kids, it gets to be a little late for them, but we'll see what happens on August 27th when we do Aladdin. This past Sunday, we had over 1,000 people at the band shell for Fight for Autism 2. It was a phenomenal event. We really did everything that we had hoped to do. The weather was perfect. We had cooperation. We had better weather than McCullough had, by the way, for National Night Out, and more people. I just wanted to mention that because he kept rubbing it in with me. We always seem to have rain, not on Sunday. We raised nearly $5,000 for Fight for Autism, which was great. Johanna's group was out there really plugging away. I have to give some special thanks, first, of course, to the people who were there. Secondly, Bob Scully has been phenomenal, our DPW director. He had to leave a party to bring the 30-kilowatt generator down. Big trouble with his wife, so if she's watching, I apologize on his behalf. He really was with me and not anywhere else. Chief McCullough and the police have been great. Chief has answered everything we've asked. The police keep stopping by. We had police presence there all night, so it was really good. I also want to thank Fire Company 1, Fire Company 3. They loaned us use of their facilities for rehearsals, which was great. Thanks to Lori Foley for snagging that for us. Two people I have to mention because you can't believe the work they do is Lori DeBella and Ellen Brogno. You have no idea how good you guys have it with the two people in your front office. They're phenomenal. They're better than you would ever imagine. As good as you think they are, you're not even close. Lori got his food trucks, created a site map. Ellen just coordinates everything, and couldn't do anything without the two of them. So thanks to both of them. This was a really difficult event, and they were phenomenal. And of course, my co-chair, if you would, Lisa Sloopmaker. Lisa's just great. She had 15 artists, I put that in quotes, divas in the group, and she herded them like cats, but she managed to herd them all together. And the result was we had a 13-year-old boy with autism playing drums for a Tony-nominated singer. It's kind of crazy, but that's what happened. And Constantine could not have been more gracious, more generous with his time. I don't give up the microphone to very many people, but to him I did. And it was great to watch him perform.
Backup singer too? There was a backup singer there last night?
We had all kinds of backup singers, including me on one song. But, you know, it's, again, a labor of love. The performers, I have to mention them by name. I know I'm going on a bit, but they deserve it because they showed up for 6 rehearsals. Constantine came to a rehearsal at Company One, by the way, showed up and, you know, again, performed with the guys before they ever got there. But thanks to Terry Civilella, Tammy Moore, Mario Gentile, Brendan Anthony, George Toji, Jimmy Clegg, Steve Seitzma, Mark Sloopmaker, Richie Tanis, Bob Lamb, John Warnett, and Pete Tanis. And then to Anthony Palouse, Bella Palouse, and finally again to Constantine Maroulis for showing up and really helping out. Phenomenal night, great attendance, could not have gone better. I thank the mayor and the council for its support of this. I know that in year 3, year 4, it's just going to keep getting better. So thank you for your support. August 24th, Country Night. Not my thing, but there are people who love country, apparently, and there are a lot of them out there. So August 24th is going to be another great night. Lori's trying to get us another food truck. We're working on that end of it. And on August 27th, we close out with Aladdin, although there is rumor of a September movie to be determined. Ellen and my brother John are working on that. So, Mayor, that concludes my lengthy report. But again, it was a phenomenal night, and I needed to give a lot of thanks.
Thank you, Michael. Just shake the person next to you to wake them. Next, I call upon my borough engineer, Steve Boswell, for his report.
Thank you, Mayor, and I'd also like to plug, it was my mother's birthday on August 12th, who's been a Hawthorne resident for, I don't know, a long time now. She's turned 92.
Does she vote?
And, and also, Dan Vanderhook mentioned that she has unfortunately, but very fortunately, because it is Hawthorne, used the ambulance corps services. And John Lane, I know personally, came out one night to drive her down to the hospital, so we really appreciate that. Arlington Avenue, the DOT approval, we're waiting for that so we can go out to bid. I want to thank you tonight for approving us doing the design. It's been done for a while, the normal Rich Goldberg methodology of at risk. Van Shell at SE is preparing the plans and cost estimates for the proposed structure, which will be both restrooms and a changing room for the artists. Michael, did I do that?
We'll put in quotes, that's right.
And we're preparing the site plan. For the lighting, we've had 2 companies submit information for solar fixtures with power stations, and there'll probably be some combination of some bollards as well as some outfield lighting at Little Franklin Field that'll make the whole thing lit properly. DPW building, 2 of the 5 contractors who bid the second time and were rejected have gone back and have now told us by this Friday they will have a new price in, and I think we're going to be happy. That's all I'm going to say now, because I don't want to prejudice.
Yeah, I've heard that before.
Well, this time I'm pretty darn sure. I'm excited for pretty darn sure.
Promises, promises.
2016 road program. You'll notice tonight there were 3 change orders. And it's funny because I was in a meeting this morning when somebody said, I've never seen a construction project that doesn't run over budget. Well, tonight you have 3 deduct change orders, one for $46,000, one for $19,000, and one for $8,000, because they are lower than the original contract amount. Not just the estimate, but lower than the contract. So I assume no one has any problem voting on resolutions 136, 7, and 8, -17 for those changes. Streetscape project is nearly done. I have a long report on it, but they expect substantial completion to be done by next week. So we're getting to the end of that. The Passaic Avenue cross connection, it appears that the outfall's now been cleared. We did a dye test. It seems to be working properly. We're going to do one more test, and then that'll be all, that issue. Rock Road improvements, concrete work is complete. Milling and paving will be completed by August 31st, and it will be, Frank. We will, and that's also the same time the 2017 road program will be completed by August 31st. The water storage tank will be ready to go out to bid. This is the painting on August 18th. We'll be ready to go out to bid. The GPS and GIS stuff, we're working with the water department. We should be able to have a meeting. The water operator was on vacation, so we need to finalize a couple of things, but that should be done shortly. The message board outside, you can see it's working, but it's kind of not working. It's a loop that's put in there. It's not actually stuff that's going in there directly because we need to make the final connection. We are now going to do it via a wireless connection so that it should be all completed very shortly. And the color was picked out by Lori, or Dominic, Lori, right?
Councilman
Oh, no.
Councilman Miller.
If you like it, it was picked out by Dominic. If you don't like it, it was
If it's
picked out
correct,
by
it was
Laura.
picked up by Mayor Goldberg.
Right, exactly.
Otherwise, it was Councilman Mealy and Lori.
We picked it out.
So that should be
How's that?
finished. Tax map updates, Tim Henderson's just reviewing to make sure they're done. The air permits for the generators, we had a little problem getting to the SAGE system yesterday, but we'll get in and get those submitted. And we've provided to the borough, or working with the borough attorney for the documents he needs for litigation support on Block 88, Lot 1. Other than that, Mayor, I'll answer questions.
Thank you, Steve. Before I go to Eric for his report, we are not optimistic about Phase 2 of our streetscapes, since Steve talked about streetscapes. So we will be bringing to the DPW committee the idea of completing the stamped concrete from Cedar to the library, doing that as a local project rather than make them wait for us to put in another application. It won't happen this year. It'll probably happen next year, but I think everyone was so impressed with how the concrete looked on Diamond Bridge, the thought of not getting it done timely on Lafayette is a concern, and I think it's something we should look at to fund ourselves. So that's something we'll talk about with the DPW committee.
What makes you not optimistic?
I got a letter from our person who submitted the grant who said, I'm not optimistic. So I share her
That would do it.
lack of optimism.
How many grants have we gotten with our new grant?
No, this was the old grant writer. This was submitted by the old grant
This was
writer.
submitted last year.
Okay. And how about this year?
We've submitted things, we haven't received much yet. We are getting, as I'll be reporting, we will be resubmitting the Prescott Avenue joint application with Prospect Park shortly. We'll be bringing a resolution authorizing that application to the next meeting. And we have some other things that were in the works in terms of identifying for equipment for the fire department and some other things. So.
Fair enough.
All right, Eric, you're up.
On the agenda tonight is Resolution R-14917, authorizing the purchase of a dump truck from Gabrielli through the National Joint Powers Alliance National Purchasing Co-op. Even if the bid proposal that we had received in regular bidding hadn't been defective, which it was, the cooperative would have been the recommended mechanism for purchasing this truck due to the lower price. So there'll be two resolutions, one to reject the bids and the other to award through this national co-op. Assuming passage of Resolution 14717, the borough will be holding its annual bicycle auction on August 30th at 3:30 p.m. here at the Municipal Building. As I mentioned, we're going to be resubmitting on Prescott Avenue. The hearing before the arbitrator for the PBA's grievance on Garcia time has been set for September 22nd. Our borough clerk and I have interviewed candidates for a deputy borough clerk. We're setting up interviews with the council's personnel committee next week with the goal of bringing a selected candidate to the full council at the September 6th meeting. And the borough attorney and I are still wrestling with T-Mobile on final language for their approved lease at Longview Tank. And finally, I want to thank both Dan Vanderhook and Mary Jean Hewitt for their many years of dedicated service to the borough.
Thank you, Eric. Council Vice President will be happy to answer any question.
Joe?
Well, thank you. All right. Dr. Boswell, I
Yes.
had a number of questions asked at the last meeting, so I guess it's more administration, old business. I was hoping you could answer some of them.
What were they? I'm sorry.
13.
Streetscape, the ditch in the roadway on Franklin, Franklin, between the library and the bank.
That would
Still
be
there.
Jefferson.
Jefferson.
And then the question was?
There's still a ditch.
We'll follow up with it.
Okay.
Of course, you know, we're not handling that project.
I did, and you said you were going to check for me.
I did, and I don't remember the answer, but I'm going to check again.
All right.
Remember, it's not their
And
project.
although it was not your project, I was told that you, not you yourself, but you as Boswell Engineering, chose the trees that were planted for the streetscape program.
If we did, we always do it with the Shade Tree Commission.
Shade Tree Commission was not a part of it and are curious why the trees that were chosen are the not correct trees because they are dwarf size, they will go round and will be destroyed by vehicles passing them.
That's a good question. I will find out.
I did send this in an email to the borough administrator.
And I checked, I've been in communication with Chris, and so.
Do you have answers?
What our arborist said was, you know, after we got this thing, is that they weren't the best trees for the, for this project. He didn't say that they weren't, they weren't.
Well, being destroyed is pretty bad.
Well, he said that well, that's not.
Yeah, one side will be destroyed because they're dwarf size, round, not high, and as vehicles pass by, they will take off the limbs on the roadway
It's just
side.
they
Don't
would,
call them little people.
and you got that I didn't give you that information.
No, the arborist did. Steve Shuckman.
Directly?
Yeah, in the meeting.
Okay, well, because that's not what he told me. He said that they would have to be trimmed, and he would check with, and what he told me is that he would check with other towns that have planted this.
They're going to
type
be
of
round
tree.
in shape. They won't go straight. They're going to blossom, and they'll be dwarf size, the same size as a truck going by.
Okay, that's, okay. I'm not going to dispute what he told you, because that's not exactly what he had told me, so.
That's what was discussed in the shade tree. Okay, and the last one I have is the road program. You believe will be done by the end of this August?
I do.
I am not as optimistic. This is, I voiced my
I'm a
displeasure.
full kind of guy.
All right,
It will be done by August 31st. The only exception will be that is if it rains from now until August 31st.
oh, there was another person in administration who felt so strongly, and he lost that bet
I did
too.
lose a bet to Joe, and I did pay up.
You haven't paid up yet?
Oh, that's right, I owe you.
Hope
All
that
right,
gets on your
Dr.
ethics
Boswell,
board.
we can discuss the,
The only exception, as I said, is weather. If the weather's fine, it'll be done.
look, if this was any other contractor, I'd feel as optimistic as you do. I'm not impressed.
It's a low bid, Joe. We don't have a choice.
I hate that answer. Just not your answer, I hate the low bid answer.
Yeah, we all do.
Yeah.
But
All right,
Anything else,
nothing
Joe?
else for me.
Gary.
I have nothing.
Bruce.
Yeah, I probably should have brought this up under old business too, but what's the status on the Pan Chemical gate and the repairs to securing that property?
I know we've issued a purchase order for that. I'll have to check on when it's getting
Because
done.
it's still wide open down there.
Right, we went out, got estimates, the representative for the property got estimates, and we were kind of comparing notes to see whose was better. Apparently ours is because Eric got a purchase order, so. Should be done soon.
Yeah, there's more graffiti appearing down there by the train
Well, it's a little
station.
easier now, there's no fence.
Yeah. Maybe we should patrol it a little bit or keep an eye on it.
I'm okay.
John.
I'm good.
Anything else, Mayor?
No, we refuse to answer any more questions, but thank you. That concludes the report of the administration.
Have a motion to record the administrative agenda?
So moved.
Motion by Sitting, second by Witecki. All in favor? Aye. Motion carries. Introduction of ordinances, we have none. Resolutions, consent agenda R132-17 through R149-17. R 132-17, Borough of Hawthorne payroll dated August 4th, 2017. R 133-17, payment of 2008 general serial bonds. R 134-17, special events payment. R 135-17, payment of school taxes. R 136-17, change order 1A, final for 2016 road program. R 137-17, change order 1C, and final for 2016 road program. R 138-17, change order 1B, and final for 2016 road program. R 139-17, approval and acceptance of the 2016 audit report. R 140-17, approval and acceptance of the correction action plan for the 2016 audit. R 141-17, Chapter 159, 2017 recycling tonnage grant. R 142-17, payment of county taxes. R 143-17, interfund transfers. R 144-17, interfund transfers. R 145-17, interfund transfers. And R 146-17, Boswell Engineering Services for Arlington Ave. R 147-17, authorized bicycle auction. R 148-17, reject bid for the 2018 dump truck. And R 149-17, award 2018 dump truck through co-op purchasing. Can I have a motion?
So move.
Second.
Motion by Mealy, second by Sitting. Any discussion?
Discussion.
John, we'll start your way.
Okay, on Resolution 139-17, I just want to take this opportunity to thank the mayor and the administrator and the finance committee for all the hard work that they did in putting the budget together and having our auditor give us such a great report, especially with our bond rating and the surplus that we have right now. So I just want to thank everyone who participated with that.
Okay.
I'm fine.
No, okay, Joe.
Question for the, for the clerk. Do we all need to have a printed copy of the audit, since we only are attesting to the fact that we've seen the corrective action in the final page? Would it be easier if we just had one copy in the office and received?
It's part of the contract that he presents certain amount of copies. We could look at next year. I don't think there'd be any, we don't print them.
It's an enormous waste of paper.
Oh, I don't disagree with you, because we know that we do everything so well, but
Actually, we only got one this year. We
I
used
got-
to get 13.
right.
I got a copy.
You got, I apologize, you're right, I did put them in the individual mailboxes, right?
Yeah.
A while ago.
Maybe we could save $100 on next year's contract by
Oh, the
saying, just give us a
library one I just
PDF.
put in there.
Oh, that would be excellent. I would take it,
Okay.
I would even take it
So,
electronic. Maybe by next
electronic
year, we'll have
copy.
an electronic version.
And we do have electronic, we posted on our website electronic, in a PDF.
When the trucks mow down all those dwarf trees, we can
Yeah.
turn them into...
Yeah, no, absolutely, if everybody's in favor of just
That wasn't me,
electronic
Dr.
copy.
Boswell, that was Mr. Bennett.
Well, I prefer to have the booklet that it comes in so I can
Okay.
review it versus an
Absolutely.
electronic copy, because I like to see paper versus looking at a screen.
Sure. All right.
And he
I'll
makes
ask
notes with his
for a
quill
few.
pen.
Any other comments?
Yeah, I just really quick, if anybody's looking for a bicycle, the bike auction is a great way to find a bicycle very inexpensively. Normally, there's not a whole lot of people there, so some great bikes go very cheaply. And Eric is just a riveting auctioneer. Probably worth coming in just to hear Eric run an auction. So I urge anybody looking for a bicycle for a child or an adult, because there's all kinds of bicycles. These are bicycles that get turned in as lost or stolen and not claimed. So if you need a bike, it's a great chance to get a bike at a very low cost.
Can I interject?
Sure.
Thank you, Mayor. In addition, there's some mountain bikes, so also adult bikes, not just kids' bikes. And new this year, there's some miscellaneous items. They have 4 19-inch vehicle tires and aluminum rims that will be at this auction as well. The list will be posted tomorrow morning on our website, and you may see. for
When is the
yourself.
auction?
It is next Wednesday.
Joe, did you notice you had no wheels on
I'm sorry,
your
not
car?
next Wednesday.
I'm sorry?
Wednesday, August 30th at 3:30. The police bring all the bikes out to the pad.
Yeah,
Is
the
that what you call
pad.
it? The pad. And we do it back there.
Thank you.
You got it.
Okay.
Thank
Call the
you.
roll.
Okay, anybody else?
Roll call on the consent agenda resolution, or the
I apologize, I did not get the second. I've got the motion by Councilman Mealy.
Neely and Sinning.
Thank you. Excuse me, Bennett?
Yes.
Lane?
Yes.
Mealy?
Yes.
Sinning?
Yes.
Woteki?
Yes.
Matthews? Motion carries.
No on 142-17, yes on all the others.
Now, motion carries.
Okay. My statement pause.
Yes, you did make your statement.
Reports of special council committees. Joe, we'll start your way.
Thank you. IT committee met this evening. Items discussed, we're going paperless. Personal electronic devices for 13 who do receive the paperless council information and emails. Email disclaimers, and our next meeting will be September 6th at 6 p.m. That's all.
Oh, I have a shade tree question. When are they doing the fall planting?
In the fall.
Well, they said that in the spring and it never happened too.
We're no longer going to have spring planter. It'll only be fall plantings. It is, well, Dr. Boswell, I'm sure you could attest to the
Well, the
fact.
problem is that most of the things you plant, you don't have a sprinkler system. So if you plant them in the spring, they don't get adequate watering.
But that wasn't the reason we were given. We were given a reason that there was a bad selection of trees in the spring. Have they gotten miraculously better now that the summer heat came and dried them up?
I don't, now you're asking me, I don't know, I was just telling
Hey, you chimed in.
My fault.
You're gonna think twice about that next time.
Maybe we got.
Is there a
the
scheduled
dwarf
week?
We don't have, we have to get proposals for it yet, so that's.
The spring ones weren't good enough?
We will be planting those this fall, but we are also doing this year's planting, we'll be doing, so we'll be actually doing this
Double
year's
planting.
spring planting, which was funded last year, and we'll be doing this year's fall planting.
Right.
And both will take place this fall.
And time for you to
And you didn't
regularly.
answer my question. When is that going to happen?
I don't know what the timing for
It's not
fall
going to be in the
planting-
next 2 weeks.
Well, it's still summer.
Right.
Yeah, it will
No, you
probably.
usually say 2
It'll
weeks.
probably be sometime in October-ish, but I can get a schedule.
Got it. Okay. Gary.
Working on dwarf trees.
Bruce.
In the report.
No report.
John.
No report.
All right, I'll follow up. The planning board met last night. We have a medical transportation company coming to the Rag Shop Center, actually the old Rag Shop offices. Yeah,
Where are they going to park the ambulances?
if they're not
They're not
ambulances, they're
ambulances,
just
they're-
vans. It's not emergency service. And they're gonna park behind, in the auxiliary lot behind the Rag Shop Center.
No lights, no sirens.
Yes.
It's non-emergical medical.
No
transportation.
911 calls.
Yeah, just planned doctor visits, things like that. Also on the agenda last night was the planning board's plan to review the county application for the synthetic turf field, but the county felt it was beneath them to come present their project to the planning board.
Wow.
So there's no way to have a ruling by the planning board to know whether the master plan is being adhered to without a presentation by the county. So, once again, Hawthorne got snubbed, and as Mike said, they're pushing this project through without
They
the
really
need
don't
for
care.
us.
They
Mike, do they need
don't.
permission from our planning board?
They say that the 45-day calendar ended, and they don't need to come before
Thank you,
us.
Michael.
However, they did give us additional plans. When they submitted, they only gave us 4 sets of plans, and any application to the planning board needs 13, 15, whatever the required number is. So they felt it important enough to send us the additional plans to abide by our request, but not to come and actually talk to us and present the project.
We're going to look at, the implication of the action and
I mean,
decide.
it's more than
of
just
course, but-
procedures that are not being followed. The planning board's consistent in what they ask for every application. Now, yes, it's a courtesy review, and our task as a planning board is really just basically, is it consistent with our master plan, yes or no? But as a courtesy, they should be talking about parking and traffic studies and things that are gonna increase the requirement for that area.
And Council Vice President, I mean to, disagree with you. It's more than just courtesy, though, because the state statute says you have to do this. And that's what's bothersome, is that the county's arrogance with this project, they don't care what the people in Hawthorne think. So they're just saying, tough, we're going to do whatever we want. You understand that this turf field is going to have the logo of the county of Passaic at midfield. in a historic park that it
Not
was
just green
designed by
grass.
the Olmsted brothers, right? They're going to put the great seal of the county of Passaic just smack in the middle of it, as if to thumb their noses over and over again at us. And
Question of
it's
traffic
just-
and parking was a legitimate question
course
by
it
the
is.
chairman last night, and then obviously, we have a set of plans, but that doesn't really explain whether they had studies done for that.
Yeah,
Michael?
yeah, you're right.
Michael, with that and with what's going on, as far as approvals are concerned, or as far as permits are concerned, wouldn't that be a prior approval that we would not be able to issue them any kind of permits through our building department?
We're not
And also-
required to issue them permits, but it is a prior approval in the sense that this is mandated by statute. You don't just,
But also-
nobody
also-
passes, puts a statute in place just because it's nice to fill the book. I mean, you have to do something.
But also, isn't it part of, or would it be part of our soil movement permit also?
They're not required, again, on all
They don't
of
have to
those
pay
things.
for it, but don't they have to get a permit?
They don't need to get a permit, but they needed to at least address the questions for consistency or inconsistency with the master plan.
Well, isn't that, based on what Frank just explained and you just explained, isn't that other grounds to go to court?
We started a dialogue with the issue today because obviously it happened last night. And we will make a recommendation to this body.
I mean, if that's the case, I mean, that the appellate division hasn't responded to you yet, I mean, would it be prudent to, say, start with the Superior Court?
Well, that's the discussion we're having, John.
I mean, and actually then get a change of venue, because get it out of the county so another county can review it, because it's not part of the judges in the county shouldn't review it.
Well, again, all of this has to be discussed. It is being discussed. I can't tell you,
I don't need you to
right
tell me
now
now.
where we're at with it, but these
That's
are
fine.
the discussions we're having.
Okay.
That concludes the planning board report. In the Chamber of Commerce, they would like everyone to come down to their 6th annual Classic Car Show at the Farmers Market this Sunday, August 20th. It's free. Registration is also available. It begins at 8:30. It's for cars, trucks, and motorcycles. The Green Fair is scheduled for September 10th, and the annual fishing derby is scheduled for September 16th. Any volunteers for the fishing derby or the car show
show.
would be appreciated.
I have something when you're done.
Okay. Chamber related?
No.
Oh, okay. That concludes my report on the chamber. I'll turn to you then.
Thank you. Just a public service announcement. The Hawthorne Ambulance Corps is going to have a beefsteak on October 19th at the Brownstone. So tickets are available through me. I have tickets for the entire council.
Isn't Michael supposed to report all beefsteaks?
Well,
My report was long enough.
Yeah.
so.
What was that date?
October 19th?
19th? Okay.
I believe it's a Thursday night, maybe?
It
It
is?
is a Thursday.
Lions Club.
Club night?
It is a Lions Club night. I was told by the president of the ambulance corps that should be exceedingly disappointed if we didn't reschedule our club meeting.
Gotcha.
So that's all, Frank.
Okay, great. Correspondence. We have C1, new firefighter applicants Zachary Alkus to Company 5, Christopher DeBella Jr., and Brandon Trizzi to Company Number 1. Have a motion.
So moved.
Second?
Motion by Bennett, second by Sinning. Any discussion?
Just discussion. I had asked in the past for, I'm allowed to discuss even though I'm not going to vote.
At your own peril.
My own peril? Thanks. The only thing I'm bringing up is that there is medical information on the back of the application, which is a HIPAA violation.
Nobody knew about it until you just told them, so you
Oh, I
violated
brought this
their-
up multiple
No,
times.
we have talked about that before, and what's provided to the council will need to redact some information. So,
Okay,
and you can have someone else call the roll?
roll call.
Do you have to have someone else call the
Steve,
roll?
could you call the roll, please?
No, whatever you want.
Abstain!
No, it's just that there's a DeBella on the list.
She's just a recorder of it. She's not voting on it, so Lori, you're fine. You're fine, Lori.
Oh, yeah.
I still abstain.
Sinning,
Yes.
Mealy,
Yes.
Lane,
Abstain.
Bennett,
Yes.
Matthews.
Yes.
Motion
Motion
carries.
carries.
Very good.
Okay, bills. Motion to approve the bills and forward them to the treasurer for payment.
So moved.
Second.
Motion by
Deputy Clerk.
Mealy, second by Sitting. Any discussion on any of the bills? Roll call.
Bennett,
Yes.
Lane,
Abstain on the fire department and the ambulance corps, yes on all others.
Mealy,
Yes.
Sinning,
Yes.
Woteki,
Abstain on the fire department, yes on all others.
Matthews.
Yes on all.
Motion carries.
Public comment, now open the meeting to the public. If anyone desires to be heard, please raise your hand to be recognized. Come forward to the microphone, state your name and address. One of the three of you. Chief, we'll start with you.
You know we weren't staying there because we liked it.
I was curious.
Now you hurt my feeling, chief.
Just transition, Madison, Lafayette, on behalf of the fire department. Gonna keep you up to date on a couple things. We've had the dubious thing happen last month where we hit the highest number we've ever had for a month without a natural disaster, 56 runs for the department. And unfortunately, we're outpacing ourselves to be over 500 for the year, which is kind of unusual. And the always questions comes is last month, how many Glen Rock calls? 6. So most of these are Hawthorne runs, and just keep you up to date. We're moving into an unusual direction. We're getting busier. I think we're trying to catch the ambulance.
Maybe you can have a couple ride along.
I know you guys are moving forward in inventory, and the vote will come up next month, so just keep you updated. That inventory is now hit 67th day out of service. It is expected back finally Friday, with any luck, and we'll get it back in service as quick as possible. Probably for Saturday morning, once we check it out, test it, we'll get it going from there. I do want to thank the safety committee for initiating the new train.
You don't have.
Finance committee for entertaining it, and then hopefully we'll get through, you guys are satisfied with it, we move forward. So I do appreciate that. Just so you know, we're working on a partnership with other departments, particularly Glen Rock, Fairlawn, and even Ridgewood now, to try to bolster not only response for the borough, but give back opportunities for the borough. We're going to Glen Rock 30 times in 2 months. There's got to be something given back to our borough. Both chiefs, myself and the chief of Glen Rock know that, and realize that. We'll be entertaining stuff, putting stuff down to the idea that they work to not only benefit our members, but our borough. So once we put some things down, and it looks like we've been able to work that, I'll bring it forward to Mayor Goldberg and Administrator Howard. Hopefully, we can get something done. But partnership amongst the 4 towns is growing. You know, we have a good relationship with State County, but I can tell you, it seems here in State County, maybe we should move over to Bergen, I don't know, but, you know, we have a good relationship with towns that, to our east that seem to want to be more involved in it, so. If you guys can, I appreciate it. I don't know how these come about with group homes. When we get caught in group homes, we got caught in today when they have a basement apartment, which is legal. But if, Mayor, I don't know if there's any way of playing work, just let us know you have a group home. We
don't get group home applications.
We don't.
They're considered a beneficial use and don't come to the planning board.
They go upstairs, so you can
You
probably
talk to
work with
Gene, the
Gene.
fire marshal, he should be able to help you with
We'll
those.
definitely work on it, 'cause it's crazy, it's a little concerning. Although they have fire safety and all that stuff, but. Want to thank, or congratulate Councilman Lane for being reelected to the executive committee. It means a lot to have a person in town who helps travel all the way to Wayne so we can have it over here at Hawthorne. But, you know, John does a great job, and I don't know if he shares that with Kenny Silvestri, which does a tremendous job with the fire, so guys, kudos to that.
Thank you.
Was it close?
Not even close.
Oh, okay.
Anybody run against it? Nobody would deal.
Other than Dominic.
And Mayor, again, we've had meetings for about 4 months now, correct? Where we've
Yep.
had meetings. The asset of that is that we're meeting with Mayor Goldberg, Administrator Mauer, and we're airing out some problems with the department, and you're also entertaining some things that we might benefit, not only Hawthorne, but the towns around us, but we do appreciate that. It really is.
It's my
hit a
pleasure.
bullseye, it's
Yep.
tremendous. I know Michael had nothing to do with it.
Nothing. Nothing.
And there you go.
That was me. I had something to do with that. Your time is up.
On behalf of the department, I want to thank you guys for this.
Thanks,
And I'm
Chief.
going to call.
Before you leave, do you want to mention, because I can't, do you want to mention how many years Mr. Silvestri and how he was honored at the caucus?
Yes, 65 years. We got a task ahead of us for the department and the borough. 65 years of service to the borough as a firefighter. Good luck. Me, I buy him a Mercedes-Benz and have him.
Is he still a member?
Yes, he's still an active member of Engine 3?
Gave him a gold
What an asset.
axe or something,
65
right?
years.
We gave him a gold axe, too.
Yeah, that's what I mean, yeah.
Oh,
Then 50.
How do you
give him
beat
old
that?
axe, I'll have him hit you with it. Gotta give him something a little bit better. And also with that, you gotta congratulate his wife for giving that much time to it, so.
Absolutely.
Tremendous amount of service. I don't think he's ever gonna be hit again in Hawthorne, at least I don't see anybody coming up.
Well, the best part about that, Joe, is that he was given that with the county, and he got probably a 5-minute standing ovation, which was very touching. I mean, it actually brought tears to his eyes. It was,
He runs a
it
home,
was very
right? He runs a
touching.
home too, right? Yeah. He's tiring down.
He's the
keeps telling me that. I've had
finance
enough.
chairman of the home.
He wants to make 75 years, you give him the diamond axe.
If I could just, I very infrequently thank John Lane, so this is another time, twice in 1 year. Councilman Caucus, at the caucus, Councilman Lane made that happen and brought in his family for 65 years of service, so thank you very much, John Lane.
My pleasure.
Well deserved.
Thanks, Joe.
And it's great what you guys did, so.
We got that video clip ready for the website.
That's what you want.
Let's go.
That was me speaking as a firefighter.
Take care.
Does anyone else wish to be heard? No? Okay, seeing none, I entertain a motion to close the public portion of the meeting. Motion made by Lane, second by Bennett. Roll call. Are all those in favor? Motion carries. Adjournment. Can I have a motion to adjourn? Motion by Bennett, second by Sitting. Roll call. Are all in favor?
Favor.
Aye. Motion carries. Next regular meeting of the municipal council is Wednesday, September 6th, 7 PM. Yeah, nobody's stepping up, so I was looking at you.